Alright, Guardians. Are you ready for one last ride?
Let's give the galaxy something to remember us by.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter.
Now, this is everything you need to know before watching Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We are now into Phase 5 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Following the release of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, we will pick up with Star-Lord, Peter Quill and the gang following the Guardians holiday special on what the Blue Santa had left Peter Quill for Christmas.
These boys wanted to eat you!
His iconic dual-wield plasma rifles.
Double kill.
From Thor: Love and Thunder, the Guardians have departed ways with Thor, with Peter neglecting the bromance and instead to pursue the deadliest woman in the galaxy.
Touch!
I think Peter got the wrong end of bros before. We learn in the holiday special that Mantis is the half-sister to Peter, with them sharing the same biological father, the Destroyer of Worlds, sort of like Gamora and Nebula, and the Mad Titan, another destroyer of planets. The team have settled in nowhere, the abandoned severed celestial head floating in space, which had previously been the home base of the Collector. Rocket's past comes to haunt him, his creator, and the man dipped in gold is after his bounty. Marvel Phase 4. So with the end of Phase 3 and Tony's death undoing Thanos' snap.
Spoiler alert.
So if you haven't seen the comic verse, which is MCU, leading up to Phase 5, here's a brief recap.
Where to start?
There are two key parts from Guardians Volume 2 that will play a major role in the threequel. We know Peter is half celestial, enabling to withstand and hold the Power Stone. And Aisha, the leader of the priestesses of Sovereign, has designed a weapon in order to attack the Guardians after Rocket stole the Annulax batteries. And that weapon is named
Adam.
More onto that later on. The Guardians have now completed the Infinity Saga, but they have lost their original Gamora, who fell in love with Peter Quill. However, the past Gamora we see in Endgame, after losing her father and sister from her timeline, decides to team up with the rest of the Guardians and the better version of Nebula, her new half-adopted blue eye robot sister from a different timeline. And she's not in the best terms with Peter.
This is the one? Seriously?
Your choices were him or a tree.
The Nova Corp, the Space Corps, were decimated in the event of Infinity War, leaving the Guardians to fend for the galaxy. But the 2040 Gamora headed off on her own, leaving after the events of Endgame. In the Marvel's The Eternals, the last family tied to Gamora shows up, his uncle Eros.
Brother of Thanos.
I'm Eros.
And in the end of the holiday special, and Rocket the Raccoon is delighted to now hold the arm of the White Wolf from Nebula as a gift.
Bucky's arm?
Who is also wielding a more bionic arm from the trailer. This is crucial to Rocket's story, as he was also torn apart and put back together.
Well, I didn't ask to get made. I didn't ask to be torn apart and put back together.
His origins will play the main antagonist in this film, the High Evolutionary. Rocket's arc, the High Evolutionary and Adam Warlock. The High Evolutionary comes full circle to Rocket's character arc, introducing Chigurudi Iruji to the role as the main big bad for the Guardians in Volume 3, another mad scientist from the Marvel Universe.
Mad scientist goes berserk and we don't have pictures.
I heard Spider-Man was there.
From the comics, the High Evolutionary is a genesis obsessed with perfecting the evolution of mankind, first appearing in 1966 in The Mighty Thor. Through experimentation, he genetically altered his DNA, enhanced and perfected his power and intellect, allowing him to engineer his own planet, Counter-Earth. A replica of Earth, governed to hold a utopian society, where time moves differently. The rate of evolution is extremely high.
They enhanced their own design. The rate of evolution would be extraordinary.
Which also held their own version of Peter Parker. You could also be interested in Peter Quill's genetic makeup being half celestial, similar to Adam Warlock, the obsession to perfection.
You're either perfect or you're not me.
Who's also a perfected being of the Sovereign creation, being stronger than Thanos, and is to play a major role in the High Evolutionary's plan with Counter-Earth. We first see Adam in 2013 in a post-credit scene of Thor: The Dark World, housed in a cocoon in his dormant stage in the Collector's Gallery, him needing to absorb androids 17 and 18 until he can gain perfection, perhaps affiliated with the High Evolutionary. The mad scientist clearly experimented on Rocket in his early years, being torn apart
put back together over and over, turn it.
This was to enhance his mind and his intelligence, which is unparalleled even with the likes of Tony Stark. The Guardians visit Counter-Earth, and Rocket comes face to face with his past. Rocket hints his origins through the MCU, always fighting against anyone who he believes to be superior to him, because of the experiments and control he was under within his origins. From Volume 1, Rocket's only known former associate is Lylla, another genetic enhanced animal, this time an otter. That may be the driving force that leads to Rocket's life being in jeopardy and in the hands of the rest of the Guardians. And in this film, just like the Fast films,
it's all about
family! Cosmo the Space Dog. The Guardians have recruited man's best friend with Cosmo the Space Dog, who first appeared alongside the Collector in Volume 1, and again in their Christmas special. Sent to space by the Russian Soviets and altered by cosmic radiation, giving her the powers of X-Men's Professor X.
You're not the only one with gifts.
He also wears a one-of-a-kind collar that holds a storage facility that could hold a pocket dimension. Cosmo has teamed up with the Guardians, who currently hold base in Nowhere, and is voiced by Maria Bakalova from her recent work in the Borat sequel.
I refuse to do any more work while you demean me.
Alright,
You may also see another animal make a cameo appearance, Howard the Duck.
You're out of luck until you've gone duck.
The Nova Corp and the Ravagers. The Nova Corp is an intergalactic police force, sort of like the Power Rangers SPD, without the coloured spandex, that worked with the Guardians in order to take down Ronan the Blue, similar to Power Rangers and Ivan Ooze. The Nova Corp was decimated by Thanos in Infinity War.
You stole it last week when you decimated Xandar.
We may get the rebirth of the Nova Corp, with the third film wrapping up the trilogy, and the Guardians may not all be in a position to police the galaxy, which could also bring another set of heroes, another set of Guardians, the Ravagers. During the post-credit scene of Volume 2, Stallone's character, as one of the leaders of the Ravagers, reunites with his old clan after the passing of Yondu.
Spoiler alert!
We see 5 of the members: Charlie 27, Martin X, Atletta, and Mainframe, who's played by Miley Cyrus,
I miss you guys so much.
who are a part of the original Guardians of the Galaxy roster from the comics in 1969, and Kruger, a space villain, harnessing the mythical powers Doctor Strange wields, and in the comics he once became the Sorcerer Supreme. Stallone's team of OG Ravagers may make a cameo appearance in Volume 3.
Let's say we steal some shit.
Marvel Phase 5. With the events of Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and Loki Season 1, Kang the Conqueror was to be the Thanos replacement to the multiverse saga, the Big Bad. Though we may not get a shift into the quantum realm, the concept around alternate timelines and different variants appear in Guardians 3 through Gamora. Being a past version trapped in this timeline, she could be a trigger to an incursion.
An incursion occurs when the boundary between two universes erodes, destroying one or both entirely.
A few movies to follow Volume 3 are Captain Marvel 2, tying up the events of Miss Marvel, Captain America New World Order, The Thunderbolts, and Fantastic Four, which could be the origins of John Krasinski's portrayal of the character. Leading up to Avengers Secret War. We know from the trailer the story is heavily focused on Rocket, which will come full circle. With the members of the Guardians perishing from the hands of Thanos, only Rocket has survived thus far. Though the Guardians film have always been a superhero action adventure tale full of comedic timing.
What exactly is it that they do?
Kick names, take ass.
Yeah, that's right.
James Gunn, the director, has settled for a darker story to unfold, and it may not end well for all the Guardians. Runtime of 2.5 hours, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 hits the theatres on May 5th, and I'm eagerly waiting to see the role Adam Warlock will play, which was 10 years in the making, teasing in Dark World. And finally, what's in store for the awesome mixed soundtrack, which has been iconic to the franchise, and Volume 3 continues that trajectory with the iconic rock anthems that rock the ages.
Kill one guy, one stupid guy who no one loves.
Thanks for watching, and if you're liking the content, please like and subscribe.
This dumb tree, he is my friend. And this green whore, she too.
Oh, you must stop.